Hey, what is up, guys? This is FNH here, and today I'm going to be talking about what the difference are between Opera browser and Firefox. Okay, so most of you probably know Firefox is probably one of the most famous browsers out there, right? Alongside with Chrome and I guess Microsoft Internet Explorer and Edge. Opera is also probably in the top five, I would say, right, as browsers. It was used heavily a couple years back, right? Maybe in the not even a couple, maybe like early 2005, 2010s, around there. But it kind of has died off since then, but it still remains as one of the top web browsers. All right, and recently they have been coming out with a lot of different changes. So if you haven't used Firefox in a while, you probably won't even recognize it anymore. Okay, so I have Firefox on the right hand side, and I have Firefox on the left, and I have Opera on the right hand side. Okay, so there's a lot of different features in both of them, right? So for example, in Firefox, right, we do have a lot of add-ons. It has a very good add-on store, or I should just say extension store, right? You can add plugins. So Firefox is already well developed in that sense, right? You can basically get whatever add-on or plugin you need. It'll probably be available for Firefox. Okay, and if we go to Opera, you can see Opera is just as good. In terms of basically add-ons, Opera has basically everything that you would need. Okay, their add-on store is really good, and not only that, they also have it is built on top of Chromium, right? So any apps that Chrome has, I would say not any, but most apps that Chrome has, it is able to use them easily. Okay, so if you are someone who heavily uses plugins, right, you don't need to worry about it with Opera. Okay, so that's another good thing I like about Opera. And when it comes to Firefox, obviously the Chrome store has more plugins and add-ons than Firefox, so Opera would win in that section since it's able to use Chrome's. So that's definitely a heads up for Opera. Aside from that, there is ad block. Opera has a built-in ad block, right? While as Firefox, you have to download an extension, right? But that's not really a big issue. Most browsers have either like Origin or ad block or something like that to block ads pretty good. Okay, so you don't really need to worry about that on either one, right? In terms of UI, I would say Opera is definitely heads up in that sense. If you look at Opera, you can see this sleek design on the left hand side, this menu bar, so you can add important links over here. For example, if you have Facebook, WhatsApp, Telegram, it can all be integrated within the browser on this tab on the left. Okay, so that I really like, and the whole UI is very sleek and really nice overall, in my opinion. In terms of for Firefox, there's not really much going on here. You do have the news stories over here, but it's not really any different than any other browser you would see. It's basically like a regular browser, something you would expect from any browser. All right, so nothing too crazy going on in Firefox, and the ease of use of Opera is really good. They do add a lot of more I guess extensions and UI designs and different things going on for it, making it more sleeker and more modern. But the good thing about that is it doesn't make it difficult to use. Okay, because some browsers, they change up the UI, or some programs in general change up the UI, and then it just becomes more difficult and clunky. Okay, so it's really good that Opera does it really good. All right, so next, I want to say is that since Opera is built on top of Chromium, most websites, if not all, are very well developed for it. Okay, so if you go to a website, any website on Chrome, or any browser that has a Chromium backend, you probably will not face any issues at all. Okay. While as Firefox, it's slightly a different story. Most websites work fine, but I have encountered a few websites where they didn't work really well, so I had to go over to another browser like Chrome or something for it to work. Okay, and the issue was just like the UI wouldn't load or anything. So that's the downside, I would say, of Firefox, because some website developers just, I guess, don't take Firefox into consideration and only take Chrome into consideration. Don't know why, but there are some that do that. But yeah, moving on, I would say next main thing is performance. So that's probably the main thing people want to know. So performance is probably where I would say that Firefox is a lot better than Opera. Okay, so far Opera has had a heads up over Firefox and different categories. For example, like the features it has and how easy it is to use. But performance, Opera works very similar to Chrome, and Chrome is known to eat up a lot of RAM. Okay, so that's the major downfall of Chrome, and since Opera has a similar backend, it has the similar issue. All right, so Firefox, on the other hand, it probably is the best browser in terms of RAM management, especially when you get to using when you have a lot of tabs, right? Firefox handles that really well. All right, so Firefox, in that sense, overall it's really good. Okay, performance-wise, Opera, while using it for the desktop, is really good. I haven't really felt any substantial lags or anything like that. But the mobile app, it kind of sucks. Just my opinion, I'm not a big fan of their mobile app. For me, I stick with Firefox mobile app, which is a lot better, faster, and overall just better. Opera, on the other hand, their desktop application is really well over here, right? Really nice UI. It works really good in terms of performance, but when it comes to mobile apps, it's not that good. So yeah, definitely keep that in mind. The next one I want to talk about is privacy. So this is probably one of the biggest reasons I personally don't use Opera, or I've stopped using Opera. One reason is that Firefox is known to be one of the best browsers for privacy. Okay, so they only collect a minimal amount of data, and whatever data they do collect is anonymized. So they don't know who they're getting the data from. It's just data maybe to help them make the browser better. But aside from that, Opera, on the other hand, I believe recently a Chinese company bought it, so that kind of raised some red flags right there. Aside from that, they do outright say that they collect names, your IP address, and whatever you search, and they do share it as well as profit off of it. Okay, so definitely keep that in mind, because they do outright say that. If you are into privacy or care about your privacy, this will probably be a deal breaker for you. But if you don't really care that much, it's probably whatever. All right. So yeah, those are probably my top choices. The differences and similarities between Opera and Firefox. In my opinion, I'll stick with Firefox. I have been using this for a little while now. I have used the Opera for a while, but definitely Firefox was my choice, mainly because of the privacy concerns as well as the performance. I am someone who has a lot of tabs open all the time, so having like 20-30 tabs open in Opera as well as Chrome definitely slows it down or uses up a lot of RAM. So Firefox, in my opinion, is able to handle that a lot better. All right, so yeah, that's my that's basically my opinion on these two. If you guys want more questions about these, or more answers, I should say, definitely leave it down below. I'd love to help you guys out. Show you what my thoughts are on even more details about these. If you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so every time we upload, you get notified. Other than that, FNH out. Peace.